Call to the honourable member for Corangamite.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Education. What is the Albanese Labor government doing to expand access to early education and care in the outer suburbs and regional Australia? What has been the response, and are there other approaches to spending taxpayers' money that would leave Australians worse off?
Call to the Minister for Education.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker, and can I thank my friend, the cracking member for Corangamite, for her question. Mr Speaker, under the Liberals, the cost of childcare went through the roof. It skyrocketed by 49%.
Member for Moncrief.
And we said when we were elected, Mr Speaker, that we would cut the cost of childcare, and that's what we've done. We've cut the cost of childcare for more than 1 million Australian families. For the average family, they've saved more than $2,000 in the last 12 months. And this year we'll help more kids who are currently missing out, because this year we'll roll out a $1 billion fund to build more childcare centres where they're needed, in the suburbs, in the regions and in the bush. And that got the backing this week of the National Farmers Federation. They said yesterday, and I quote, "We implore the coalition to match Labor's $1 billion Building Early Education Fund to build more than 160 new childcare centres." So the farmers get it, but the Nationals and the Liberals don't. They spent 2.5 years in this joint talking about childcare deserts. They spent a decade in government doing nothing about it, and now there's a $1 billion fund on the table, and they're turning their back on the bush again. Instead, they've come up with something else they want to spend the money on. Instead of building childcare centres in the bush, they want to fund long lunches for inner-city bosses. That's what they want to do. Forget kids in the childcare deserts. They want to fund long lunches and bosses' desserts. Not just that. As the Minister just mentioned, they're also opposed to the legislation that she introduced this morning that guarantees 3 days a week of early education to prepare Aussie children for school. Why? Well, the Shadow Minister, the Shadow Treasurer, told us why. He said Australia can't afford that. But apparently Australia can afford at least $1.6 billion a year for every boss to go out to lunch. That's the choice. That's the choice. That's the choice. Escargot for CEOs or early education for our kids. Helping our kids get a great start in life, or helping bosses get a great starter at half price. And I think I know which one parents are going to pick. They're going to pick their kids. They're going to pick education, not this cockamamie long lunch idea from a bunch of Scott Morrison leftovers. This doesn't belong in a budget. It belongs in the bin.